Hey everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking. It's me, Scotty D, and the fine young gentleman all the way around the world, 15 hours ahead of me, Mr. Benon from Givesaminute. How you doing, buddy?
Hey Scotty, hey We're Talking audience. I'm feeling fine. Yeah, feeling good. G'day everybody. G'day mates.
G'day mates. So yeah,
can't do a Mark Ensby Aussie. Like, he does it too well.
I told him he has the perfect, like, when you think of like the stereotypical Australian accent, he has it. Now,
oh yeah,
I gotta believe, just like everywhere else, been on that, like the accents are different because, again, Australia's this massive place. For all of you that live in America, it's not like this tiny little island. It's like the size of the United States. It's humongous. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
How long does it take you, I think I've asked you this before, to get from one side to the other? How long would it take if you drove?
Oh, wow. Well, I've actually done that. When I left home when I was 21.
Yeah.
17. When I was 21, I drove from the East Coast to the West Coast, from Sydney to Perth.
Uh-huh.
Now, I did take my sweet ass time because I wanted to go exploring.
Yeah.
That took me 15 days.
Oh my gosh.
You could do it in about 3 days, probably pretty easily. And if you were hammering it, you could do it in a day and a half. But that'd be just constant driving.
Never stop, right. So I think if you went from New York to LA here, it would take you over 24 hours. I know they do like the gumball race or whatever over here, and I think the fastest time was around 25 or 26 hours from New York to LA. So I mean, but that's like they're speeding and avoiding police and, you know, peeing in jugs along the road. They're not stopping, right? They're just stopping for gas and that's it. They're hauling. Yeah. They're hauling.
When I did it as well, I went down, like in Australia, most of the cool stuff is coastal. In fact, nearly all the cool stuff is on the coast. So I went literally down the coast around the bottom, and then, you know, to get across from like South Australia to WA to Western Australia, you kind of got to go over the Nullarbor Plain, so you don't want to be stuck in the center, if you like. So I hugged the coast and I went surfing and had a great time.
Yeah. I'm sure that was like that had to be like one of the best things you've ever done in your life, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
trip. Yeah.
And I've vlogged it all as well. I've vlogged everything, so they'll be coming on my channel at some point as a From the Vault Friday episode, me leaving home.
There you go. Well, I've seen the one where you were leaving. You played part of one when you were leaving home, and your mom was probably so bummed. Did she cry? I think she cried, didn't she?
She did. She did have a tear. Yeah. That's strange that's already come up because that's on a VHS tape.
Yeah.
But all of my content was on my video camera tape, so that was my father's video camera dumped down to a VHS, which I've already digitized, but I haven't digitized my old school camera tapes just yet, so that's coming. But anyway.
There you go. Okay, so in the background, and I'm hoping this will show up because, you know, it's going to get squished down a little bit when I put it into iMovie or whatever I do. You got a little Jack Daniels back there.
We can bring that in? Or?
Yeah, bring it in and let's show everybody. And the reason that I'm doing this is because you have a jack in the back, usually of some kind, and this one is this just like straightforward standard jack, or what is it? Looks different.
Not at all. This is 1907. This is old time Jack Daniels. It's slightly different to your regulation old number 7. This is certainly a easier to drink, less alcohol content, and I don't know if it's only available in Australia, but certainly this label this is a kind of a grey, sort of yellowy label. But when it first was released, it was a white label, and I've kind of become a little bit of a collector. Now, what I do with these bottles is on my live stream, they stay behind me for 10 live streams, and then on the 10th one, I'm going to open it and have a taste of it.
And that brings us to this. So Benon wanted me to get this for him because they do not have it in Australia. And this is
so strange.
I'm holding that up, but for those of you listening on the podcast, it's Jack Daniels Winter Jack. It's a Tennessee cider. Now, I was like, sure, I'll grab you a couple bottles. That's not a thing. I can do that. And I have in the past, I don't want to get put in prison or anything like that, but I have been known to send some things to some friends across the United States of America that may or may not have been supposed to be in a box, but Anyway,
contraband.
Contraband. But it was nothing. We're not talking illegal drugs or anything here. We're just talking about some adult beverages. Now, I wanted to make sure that we were on the up and up when I was going to send this stuff to Benon, so I started doing some research. And wouldn't you know, it's not allowed by anyone here in the U.S. for sure. I've checked UPS, USPS, of course, the United States Postal Service. I knew for sure they were going to give us a hard time, and FedEx. And then I checked DHL because I thought, okay, DHL is an international company. Maybe we can slip this by. And then I sent the estimate to Benon to see what he would think. Yeah. What was it, like $450 or something crazy like that to send it?
Absolutely ridiculously over expensive.
It was insanity. And I just thought, this is crazy. But the more I started reading stuff, and I'll let you jump in here in a second and tell us more about this. But from my end, what it seems like is, again, I know this won't surprise anybody, but the bureaucrats have figured out a way to say, hey, if you're a store and you want to send things to people, have at it. But just regular citizen to regular citizen, you're screwed. You're not allowed to send it.
It feels worse than that. It's like, if you're a store in America, and I understand each of your states has their own separate liquor licensing laws and whatnot.
Yeah, that makes it even more controversial.
Absolutely. But sending between, so like if I went to a reputable liquor store in Detroit and asked them to ship it to my Australian address, even that seems way difficult to do.
Yeah. Michigan is actually one of the states that it's more difficult to do it from. That's why I was even more like, dang it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that begs the question of why are certain beverages only available in certain marketplaces? Like Jack Daniel's distributes worldwide, obviously to Australia. Yeah. Case in point, I've got a bottle right there.
Yeah.
Why can't I go to my local store, and if they don't have that one, why can't I say, can you guys get a shipment of that in, and I'll buy a few of them?
Sure.
You send off an email to Jack Daniel's and they say, it's only available in certain states and Canada. So,
yeah.
Well, I thought we were one global world here where we're trying to all unify and join, and yet I can't get some booze that you can get.
And it's like, sense. And I was telling you beforehand, I mean, this is like some hardcore, put some hair on your chest whiskey. This is 15%. It's 15% alcohol. And I was telling Cheryl, I said, yeah, this is really low, which she liked it. She thought it tasted nice, which should tell you if my wife was like, oh, that's nice. It's not hard. It's not hardcore. And she's not a drinker by any stretch. 15%, she said, aren't some of the beers you buy around that? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Some of the craft beers I've had are, 13% alcohol.
It feels like to me, in many ways we've advanced ourselves, and like nowadays in Australia we used to get your Hollywood films like 8 months after they were released in America.
That's
nowadays
crazy.
with Netflix and with the internet, we all get it all the same. It's a worldwide viewership kind of thing happening at the same time. Yet with alcohol and with international purchases, we're stuck in the 80s for some reason, and I just want to have it there so I can open it after 10 streams and say, here's another Jack Daniel's variety.
Yep.
And it looks like it's going to be impossible, except if I came over to America and Scotty has kindly said he'll put 2 bottles away for me.
Sure.
And I'll physically pick them up and bring them back with me. And even that's weird because you can only bring 2.25 liters into the country. Like why is there a limit of how much you can bring in? It should be, if you can bring in 30 kilos in your luggage, 25 of that can be booze if you want it to be, and 5 can be your luggage. Why is it just 2.25 liters? I don't understand that.
My whole thing is, again, to me, it ends up being like, so for when you're talking about the movies, the first thing I think is like, once they realized, wow, we could really make some more money if we start opening up the global market. So for some reason, there's something about alcohol that's not going to get them the return that they want. That's my thought, because you look at, I was noticing this, I'm sorry, I'm jumping off on a total different tangent here, but when I've started to see on movies, like the new Mission Impossible movie, at the beginning of it, there are like 3, how they do all the people that made, helped make the movie, that produced the movie, right? I think 2 or 3 of them were Chinese places. So all the money now for like films and stuff is not necessarily coming from America anymore. It's like China's this big market. They've got a lot of money now. Why don't we start asking China to make these movies? And I'm just like, I think that's what's going on, is like it's opened up the possibilities of where they can get money from. So to me, that means maybe there's something going on. You know, maybe Australia's not willing to pony up whatever they need to in taxes or whatever it might be to Jack Daniels. I have no idea.
You could be right. I just feel like even if that is the case, and it probably is, you know, different marketplaces for a different product and whatnot, different finances, different costings, different values to the dollar. There's all kinds of financial things at play.
Yeah.
But my thing is, you can have like 10 different products available in Australia, and then you could have 3 additional ones that aren't available in Australia. But I should be able to go to my local liquor store and say, you guys deal with Jack Daniels in Tennessee. Can you just bring in some of the other ones and I'll pay the little bit extra, whatever it is. Instead, it feels like it's an absolute not a chance that can happen. No, that's only for America, and that's only for China, or that's only for like the Jack Daniels rye whiskey, which we don't get in Australia. The rye one, you probably see it everywhere you shop.
Oh, sure.
We don't have it here. It's not for the Australian market. And it's like, what? Yeah. We're all humans. We're all on planet Earth here. We're all on the same spinning flat disc, whatever it is.
Oh, the flat disc. There you go. That made me want to play this for you, just in honor of you.
Oh,
that's what it is, right?
Oh, you know what? This is a perfect segue. You haven't hit any of those drops yet, but
I haven't.
I wanted to bring up. I'm not sure how we're going for time here, but can you just run through a few of them? One of the more common ones you play.
Let me see if we can hear them.
I'm making the coffee.
We got that one.
Not that one.
Who wants coffee? Coffee? Anybody?
Not the coffee ones. Keep going.
So not that.
Mr. Grohl, yeah, not that one.
I'm trying to think what other ones I play all the time. That chick doing the yes cat. No, not her.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Not that one.
Okay.
No, not that.
Not that one.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Not that one.
It doesn't matter what you think.
People are probably like, what are you doing? Okay, this is maybe one of the last ones I have, so I'm hoping this is it.
Hey, Daddy!
Is that it?
Okay, that's that one there. I feel like I don't know if you guys know what that is, because I've heard you. So what do you think this is a meme from?
It's from this guy who does fasting. It's his name is Cole Robinson. Yeah, he's a guy on YouTube that we watch. Derek and I both are fans of his. He's he's a Canadian dude. We're gonna do a whole show about this, but I'm gonna tell you the background behind this guy. So this guy, Cole Robinson, is from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Okay, and he is hardcore. I mean, this guy is hardcore into fasting, and we're talking about prolonged fasting. And he does this stuff. He made this thing called snake juice, and basically all it is just water that you put different types of salt substances in, so that when you're fasting, you're not depleting your electrolytes. So it keeps you from going into that place where you're like, at a certain point when you're fasting, you're peeing out all your electrolytes and all that kind of stuff. You start to feel really terrible. So this helps you sustain long-term fasting. And we're talking about a week to 10 days of fasting at a time if you want to.
Okay.
And so he opens up every one of his videos with,
"Hey, Fatty!"
Okay. So he yells out, "Hey, Fatty!" at the beginning of every video.
Okay.
And then he proceeds to use every cuss word in the book to tell you how to fast, and that if you don't know how to fast, and if you feel bad when you fast, that you're every other curse word in the book, and just get your crap together and learn how to fast and lose weight.
Okay. Then I'm completely wrong here.
Who'd you think it was?
So what I thought he was saying, "Hey, thotty."
No.
As in a thought. You know what a thought is, right?
No, tell me. Like, you mean thinking, like a thought?
No. THOT, thought.
No.
Which is, it's like a word that sort of came, I guess, from. I've heard two stories. I've heard it came from the gaming community, and I heard it came from the high school kids. They look across their schoolyard, and they see a hot chick taking a selfie, and so they call that a thought, and it stands for that hottie over there.
Oh, okay. No.
And I thought whenever you played "Hey Thotty," I thought that's
Thotty.
what he was saying.
No.
Do it again. Do it again.
Hey, Thotty! Hey, Thotty!
Are you 100?
It's Hey
Keep going.
Fatty.
Hey, Thotty!
Oh, you got to watch the videos. Listen, when we're
I-
done, you
I
got to go
can't-
watch this guy.
I'm not hearing "Hey Fatty." I'm hearing "Hey Thotty." I'm definitely hearing a TH there.
He says "Hey Fatty." It's probably the Canadian accent is throwing you off a little bit. Although I
Could be.
almost sound Canadian, so it doesn't. I mean,
Could be.
I'm close.
But when you guys were playing it the first few times, I was like, are they intentionally not acknowledging that he's saying "Hey Thotty" and changing it to "Fatty," or
No.
am I mishearing it? I must have misheard it.
Okay.
no, that's so funny though that you thought that's
And
what
that
it
one
was
sounds
saying.
like Bob too. By the way, that one
It does, doesn't it?
Okay.
very
Yeah,
much
totally.
Yeah.
And this one's for Bob also.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
See, there you go. Just because it says Bob once. Anyway, that's a whole entirely different topic that we could talk
Hey, that
about.
last one that was Office Space, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that last
yeah,
one.
yeah. So that's the same. This
two
one,
Bobs.
Okay.
that's also from Office Space. That's the boss.
Oh yeah. That's Lumberg. Yeah.
Yes.
Great film. Great
If
film.
people have not seen that, I'm actually surprised Bob has seen it, but you have to watch Office Space. I mean, if you've ever worked in a business of any kind, it's like the most. I don't even know how to explain how dead on it is to like working in like
Accurate.
a cubicle. It's so it's like life draining. It really is. I know people have
really
to do
is.
that. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you, but yeah, it's
love.
it's definitely not the way we're supposed to live, if you ask me. But what do I know?
Hey, people might like that job, like it could suit your lifestyles and your requirements very well. And for many people, it has, and it has done. I've done it for a long time, It's worked for me.
I know.
But that movie really encapsulates all the criteria and all the aspects of working in an office.
Yes.
It's so perfectly done.
It does. It's well done. It's a well done film. So
Even from the color palette all the way down, like the colors on the walls of the building and just the clothing that everyone's wearing. It's just so drab and
yeah. It's
Awesome.
it's such a great movie, and it's held up. I mean, I think it's still pretty good, and that movie's got to be 20 years old by now. I think.
Oh yeah, easily.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Because every time I think it's like, oh, that movie was just 10 years ago, people are like, no, that movie's really old.
I love that scene when he's sitting in his room in his house and he's like, I know what I'm gonna do. And he has that plan.
Yeah.
And he goes, he can't tell anybody. And then you hear the guy from the back, I won't tell anyone either.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
the whole thing.
And if you have lived in an apartment building, you know exactly what that's like as well. Yeah, yeah. The walls are paper thin, my friend. When you live in one of those like giant apartment buildings, yeah. Don't feel like anybody's not going to hear everything that's going on in your apartment for sure.
Like he walks in his door and closes it, sits down, and then his neighbor just comes around the corner and comes straight in.
Straight in. Yep.
So
That's such a good movie. All right, listen, Benon, if you have time, I'm going to invite you back for another day on the
sure,
show.
I'd love to come back on another day.
Yeah. And we'll talk about, we've got some other things we can talk about. So we'll come back and talk about them. And what is
But
it?
you want to keep this down to 20 minutes, don't you? That's the idea.
What's the
Yeah.
THOT?
And me
What's
being
THOT again?
Hey, Thotty.
Yeah, but what?
That hottie over there.
That hottie over there.
Or,
Okay.
or it could have been that hoe over there.
No, let's stay with hottie. Let's be nice.
Yeah.
Let's treat women with
But,
the utmost
you-
respect.
These programs are now 20-minute long,
Yeah.
whereas you said you were testing doing the full hour, and you said there was one person that wanted to do 1 hour. That was me.
That's
folks.
you.
I was the guy.
That's you.
I was the guy.
You're the guy.
So what I'm doing now
Okay.
is I'm just going to keep talking to not let Scotty jump in and end the.
And as he does that, I'll just like wave goodbye and play the music out, and then
got
I'll
the
just
music, of course.
yeah. So, all right. So come back. We're going to talk with Benon again, and thank you for listening. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Is that tune playing now?
It is.